this region, hopefully, and I will talk about oceans briefly in the world one, hopefully I will remember that, but the oceans are changing, and that's creating these weird storms and weird king tides that are going to be happening. A lot of weird weather, and round about here in Mexico too, but you're going to see a lot of higher tides. Like last year there were some reported high tides, higher than normal, and you're going to see high tides. There was one just about a week or two ago that the official, I think NOAA, was requesting people take pictures of the high tides. So don't, and I did predict that in England too, long time ago. And you're actually seeing it now in actually flooding in England on the coastal areas, low coastal. So you're going to see that here too, I'm afraid. All right, but in certain pockets, but it's like mini tsunamis, but they're not. That's the only way I can describe it. Okay, so basically what I'd see is we're going, oops, changing the lines. Okay, stop that. And flooding, we talked about the floods. I've given you what I have done, from last. I want to talk about the shuttle. Suicide rates increased, and please beware of that. More so in certain countries, but we are going to experience that. We're going to talk about the world later on another slide. But basically, I'm going to leave it be for America. Let me double check my list. Cyclones. Well, the cyclones aren't going to hit here. Phase 5, I really feel, if you are interested in this and the predictions, I really would advocate that you check out Phase 5 videos. I've put in little clips of previous videos in there, but Phase 6 is coming in, but Phase 5 is very important for you to note because of the signs that are coming in. Economy for America is something that a lot of people really kind of slam me with, to be honest. And I'm just sharing things, okay? So don't slam it. I told them 2 years ago that the economy in 2012, at the end of 2012 to 2013, will start slowly improving. In other words, the housing market in California and a few other places, Seattle and certain other places, and they did do, they actually did recover quite well, surprisingly. Obviously to do with the Fed decreases, keeping the interest rate low. But it was confirmed about 3 or 4 days ago by a financial analyst on TV that the economy is near to pre-recession levels, so where it was before. But it doesn't mean to say that it's still strong. There's a lot of work to be done on recovery with other things going on with the government. So I don't want to really go into it too much on the economy, but you will see a strong confidence within American stocks and shares, and not only stocks and shares because they are so closely related to the economy, but just the stability of America and the dollar by mid-July to early August 2nd, that you'll see some news that reports come out that really show a stronger economy that's coming in, and that our rating is not so compromised with the world as previously, all the previous years. There you'll find that the government is going to be far more sensitive to the general public's opinion on, working together. I'm talking about all the Democrats and the Republicans, and quite frankly, there are a few dangerous groups out there, I'm not going to mention, who are really trying to, I'm sure they mean well, but quite frankly, they're destabilizing any kind of good work, and I'm not going to mention it. I did, this is a long time ago, I mentioned this, that this party will be coming into existence, and very strongly, and this was mentioned about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. Anyway, I really want to stay away from politics. Now, terrorism, quickly. I really want to approach it on the level of the world, but you will see far more on the Al-Qaeda coming up far more insidiously. And these are kind of subgroups. And I don't think I put it on video, I put it in the book, but it seems everything seems to be coming true. Unfortunately, that's kind of old hat news now, so it's no good. But I was reading the notes when I was reviewing for the editing of the book, and ever since bin Laden died, there were certain factions that came into being but were really brought down within the party. There was a lot of internal strife. But there are still three main, how can I say, factions that are very, very strong and struggling for power. They're all extremists. One is more so than anything, but more active in Northern Europe. Okay, so, and it's really, they're going to be far more trying to be effective there. They will obviously try and destabilize certain situations in events. Watch out for Sochi. And I really feel that they will get one bomb in, but I don't feel it's going to be that effective. But again, I don't really want to obsess about that, but you will be seeing in mega events that they will try and infiltrate. But you have to give credit where credit's due to the governments that are really working hard to protect us and try and filter out and find out who the cells are. Okay, so and I really feel that they make a huge stride around about end of August, September, with some kind of new technology that is going to help a lot and save a lot of thousands of people. So it's really on where it's areas and countries where it's not as active, where the government is unfortunately not as strong as certain European governments in America and some other countries around the world, Australia, etc., where they're a bit more cognitive and pro-terrorism, quite frankly. And living in England for so long, we're kind of used to it. In the 70s, 60s and 70s and 80s, well, not 80s, I wasn't there, but 70s, with the bombings. So you will find that there are certain things, bombings will be, it's not really related to terrorism, but there are two bombs that I see going off in America. I'm not going to get into it. And when there are certain things I don't want to put the energy into. I'm hoping to God I am wrong, but I'll leave it there. So basically, in fire, we're going to see a lot of fire, just quickly, fire zones where it's really, really, the drought, and again, that middle section here I told you about, the drought is really, really Las Vegas, Arizona, Nevada, Orange, parts of San Diego, Orange County, in the hills. They're going to be quite, how can I say, quite bad. We are going to see some big fire in Yellowstone that I see. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it's sad to see it in the national forests because they're so, they're our heritage to our children, and that's what I really see at the moment. But I'll leave it there. Hopefully that's helped you, and if you have time and you're interested, you might like to check out the rest of it, the video, which is going to cover the world, obviously, and the other earthquakes around the world. On a positive note, which I know I'm kind of known as Debbie Downer here, but on a positive note, we are going to see some incredible, beautiful things where people and young children, okay, there are certain adults who are actually going to be doing unselfish acts of heroism, where they are literally helping people instead of thinking themselves. On the other scale, you're going to see a lot of selfish people too, I hate to say it. And they're going to be this weird dynamic where you are going to be seeing the groups divide, where it's hopefully only 25% on selfish, where people are only working for their own agendas. And these are people of influence, certain influence. On the other side, I'm seeing really kind of a lovely spread of great stories on the news where people are not sacrificing themselves, but making it a conscious decision to help other people. And if even it means, okay, somebody's drowning, let me go and help. And it's been going on, but it's actually going to grow where people are getting a bit more, not unselfish, but a bit aware of, we are connected, we're all connected. So if you hate somebody, you're hating yourself. Try and be a bit more tolerant. And the book is showing you why certain, you know, phase 5 again is about, are you feeling unreasonable anger, and why is that? So basically, hopefully that will help you, okay? I better cut off here, otherwise it's going to go into a 3-hour video. Blessings to you, and I'll see you on the other end. Bye. Hi everybody, and we're actually doing the world first, and these are predictions as general predictions, really affecting certain countries. I'm going to start off quickly with the earthquake, since it does affect the world, obviously. And as you can see, some new ones have just happened. Didn't even see that, but anyway, in, let's see, Mammoth Lakes in California. Okay, let's not get into that. Let's do the world again. Now, let's stay focused. I'm trying to do my best, so I apologize. So what I'm seeing is on the earthquake, let's go quickly over that. And I'll separate it with Asian, you know, or the earthquakes here, etc., later. But as you can see, the earthquakes, as I had predicted last time, are going to increase around the Ring of Fire. And this is the Ring of Fire, as it's known. And Alaska, Vanuatu, all of that, that's Vanuatu actually, that whole strait there is going to be far more active. Don't be surprised if you see a huge, like a 7.7 round about that area as well, too. So that will be active. We've already talked about America, North America, and we'll be talking about Canada separately. So basically, we are also looking at an increase, I hate to say it, far more earthquakes lower down here as well. New Zealand, and we'll go into New Zealand separately. I don't want to put it in this one. It's general predictions, really. And as for earthquakes in Hawaii, actually, I did forget to mention, they will be seeing far more earthquakes in Hawaii, as I said before. And by the way, you better get used to me. Oops, sorry, I'm moving the table. You are going to see a lot more on the island of Hilo, which I predicted. You will see odd little ones here along there, but quite frankly, it's going to concentrate in Hilo, off this island and that volcano. It's really going to get a bit more aggressive, I hate to say it. And again, after really March, April, you'll see a bit more proliferation of smaller earthquakes happening there, but none of the big ones that are, not this year at least, that I see. There is a biggish one coming, but that's really off the coast, okay? Am I going back to the world again? So we are going to, I hate to say, same track as before. You're going to see far higher earthquakes around the globe, and they are going to concentrate more on Europe. We're going to go separately. The next video is going to be Europe, and that's going to be because of, and the European areas, other than Africa more, and etc. So you can see all these bigger earthquakes still happening constantly, I'm afraid. And Russia again, 5.1, but they're going to have incremental earthquakes. Right, let's go to, because this is very distracting, it's kind of, I can get too stuck on things. So basically, regarding the world, and I'll just let it go circle here, because quite frankly, the signs, you're going to see still far more uprisings in Africa, And I hate to say it, there's going to be huge water shortages. This really, I hate to say there's so much happening with the Amazon and certain areas of even in South America, but they're becoming arid lands because other than droughts, unfortunately, they're trying to, humanity's increasing, that they're needing more space. And that's actually increasing more of the sand coming in. I'm seeing this area being a bit more aggressively sandstorms coming in this way and spreading the sand in. Just on a quickly, like dust storms and stuff, sandstorms there. Don't be surprised. It's hard to do the world a bit more, because what I'm seeing is the suicidal rate, I hate to say it, will decrease slightly, but I don't know what it is. There's some kind of weird energy coming in the half of the year where everything starts getting into a very depressed mode for suicide. Earthquakes we covered, just thing. Solar flares, I believe by April they'll be really winding down, to be honest, but I was correct in the aurora, but I don't think we'll be seeing really low auroras. They'll be kind of subsiding by the end of the year. By about August, you won't be seeing as many lower areas. And we're going to talk about other countries like this later on, individual videos. Really, I'd rather, and conflicts with North Korea and South Korea. Let's go to the individual countries because I don't want to waste time here. And we're going to actually go to Europe now. And only because I realize time is kind of crucial here. Europe. I lost Europe. It's off to Canada. Oh, Canada. We'll do Canada next, don't worry. So, Europe. Let's go to Europe. Here, I'd like to go to Europe for earthquakes first. Let's get that off the table here. And Europe. Okay, this is Europe. And as you can see, this is the current earthquake activity in the last 2 weeks. Oh, stop it. Okay, let's get there. All right, now as you can see, I don't know what happened there, it's refreshed. So, earthquake quickly. Yes, we're going to see more earthquakes happening, and in these areas, as I had indicated before, will be happening more. And even though it sounded bizarre at the time about earthquakes in England, I believe there were quite a few. I put it down somewhere in a list that there were quite a few earthquakes in England as well. So in odd areas that you're going to see. Luckily, there were a lot of confirmations, and I really, really do appreciate constructive comments and where they're confirming certain not precognitive, but anyway, these predictions, because it's hard for me to check on every single one when I'm going through. As you can see, it took me 5 weeks just to go through this, 4 to 5 weeks. So basically, I do appreciate that, but YouTube's going to change its comment section, so I don't know if it'll be posted. So hopefully it will be, and then I'll get notification. I do go through all of them for stupid comments. And I'm talking about, you know what I mean, the people who shouldn't be on there wasting our time. So basically, hopefully your comments will be got through. Otherwise, please email me and I'll post it. They've changed it and I don't like it at all. Anyway, so here we are. And we are going to see far larger on top of that. And I'm talking about Pakistan, Afghanistan, in that region over there. And what I'll do, really, I prefer to go to Google, lay over on Google. Give me a minute. Here you go. All right. Spain. Get some countries in here. Okay, so as I had said, there was going to be quite a few this is a heavy area, obviously, for earthquake activity. But what I am seeing, though, it is going to continue here, and as I said, around the boot of Italy, and this is going to be far more active. Unfortunately, Greece is going to see a big one. I don't know if it's already seen that kind of size, but I have to do my research on it, like a 6.6, but it'll be off the coast around about here. And it's really, I know it's pretty bad, and in 2 weeks, as you can see, it's quite a proliferation of earthquakes around those countries. Germany, surprisingly, will be seeing a few more. Switzerland, around in this whole sector here, kind of in that triangle, they'll be seeing far more, even on the Czech Republic side, and Poland at the tip. And Spain, it'll be more or less this section here, nothing in the middle, but more or less this section. Sorry, where am I? Because that's France. Down here, I'm sorry. This section here, in a kind of L shape. They'll be seeing more in that way. But here is where England, in the lower half, you'll be seeing, and a bit of Ireland too on the other end. These, you're going to see far more earthquakes too, I'm afraid. What else? And it's really about, let's go, before we go more east, Norway and everything. And, you know, I keep on seeing still some, I don't know if it's unusual or what, but quite frankly, Finland a tiny bit. And it's around these areas I'm seeing for Sweden and Finland to have it. Even in weird areas, teeny little ones, I don't know if they're going to be reported, to be honest, where you're going to have earthquakes there, small ones, though, nothing big. And this activity is going to actually grow here. And we'll go it a bit more on, just in this area here, it's going to be quite active. Again, the oceans are a lot to do with it, and I think it's that whole strait, that whole area there. I don't know if that's the fault line. Okay, so I'm afraid the bigger ones, I mean, these are, I shouldn't say average, but quite frankly, they're rather large anyway, 3.3. Yeah, I'm trying to go. They're refreshing. It's 4.7. So there'll be anything from a 5s to 6.1 in that whole region, in this whole area here. Okay? Now, I'm just going to go quickly. Sorry, I'm trying to keep on time here. It's already going over. What I do see, and you don't really see it here, and I'm going to go to the world one, I think. This one. Okay. Can't really see it too much, but okay, that's a bit better. What I do see, oopsie daisy. Okay, let's see. So, India, Afghanistan, Baghdad, and I did say near Tehran there will be a large one. Unfortunately, it did happen. You're going to see far larger ones here in that whole section. And again, it's all on this one, but quite frankly, it's up here too, and in the mountains. So really, funnily enough, I saw Greece and there is, but that's not a huge one, not yet. It'll be kind of later on this year. But Saudi Arabia, you're going to get far more even then, and into Jordan, stuff like that. But basically, these earthquakes and coming into, it's really the border here, that's kind of destabilizing too. You're going to see like a 7.8 there. And it's kind of in one pocket here, one pocket there, that they're going to be much larger. Smaller ones here, but the real ones for Russia, to be honest, are more on a kind of a northern plane. So it's as if it's this mountain range here. And don't be surprised, I hope I'm wrong, but about 8.1 again in Russia, around about that area. Okay, China, and I don't feel they're really giving you all the earthquakes in China, but anyway. China, it'll be more or less this region here, this kind of a square, and off here slightly. 7.8, 7.9, and one big one again in India, around about that region as well. It's about a 7.1, 7.3, hopefully that's all. You may be seeing even more earthquakes, not exactly in the Seychelles, but really weird small little ones coming around here too. Regarding, not exactly near Sri Lanka, but round about there, okay? Now, the big trouble spot, which, poor things, are here, is that Japan. Needless to say, it's still going to go on, and I feel that the activity, because of the new islands, and I did say in a few years ago that there was going to be underwater volcano becoming active. So I think that created a new island a few months ago. So basically this activity is really going to be, I don't really see anything horrifically large, but quite frankly it certainly won't be a 9 or something, but I do see the continuation of 5s, you know, all the smaller ones, 5, 6, 7s, in Japan and round about here in that kind of straight line here and off the coast. So it's kind of in that square you're going to get far more. Maybe a reasonable one here in below Hiroshima or Hiroshima. So really this one being far more active, and this whole strait, the Mariana Trench here. But it's going to actually affect far more things going down below that. So here we're looking at this region. Now, Solomon Islands we'll go into in a minute, but Thailand and everything, I really feel, I hate to say it, there's one big one here coming in. I don't know what it is, but it's as if it's kind of a kickback, it sounds like. Yeah, it's, God, I hope I'm wrong, like a 7.8 here. And it does create a tsunami, but it's pretty deep, but it goes this way, kind of hits Sri Lanka a bit. Low-lying levels. God, I hope I'm wrong. Probably am. And it kind of hits like this, and the tsunami hits this way. All right, that is the direction. And so it does kind of hit Badan and stuff like that. If that's Badan, I think. Anyway, and this will continue with, needless to say, the Philippine Islands are going to be just as active and just continue, to be honest. I'm just trying to test something. I apologize. Doesn't give everything anyway. So I'm just giving you the large ones. Obviously the little ones are going to happen, and you don't be surprised if small little ones are here in India and that the west coast, sorry. Okay, all right, quickly, as you can see, the Mariana Trench is being more active with that whole fault line. But but I really feel that whole section is just kind of getting active anyway. I think that after about March you'll see more of the increased activity there. Okay, PNG, Papua New Guinea, is going to be a bit more active this year, I hate to say it, after March, and looking at 6.6s, nearly maybe into even 7.1, and it's all on this outer edge here on that fault. The Solomon Vanuatu is being actually kind of being activated. It's experienced Solomon Islands, that whole section, that whole fault line is getting to be really, really active, unfortunately. I'm seeing even a 7.8er, could be, sorry about that, 7.8er. It's 4.8. But anyway, don't be surprised if you see that. And just here off the islands of Fiji, they will be having like 6.6, 6.8, and they're all increasing in size, I'm sorry to say. All right, then Samoa, all of this, New Zealand, as you can see, there's quite all more or less tied to the actual trench, Karametic trench here. But I really see that in a way, because New Zealand was pretty aggressively getting, how can I say this, receiving high volumes of earthquakes, but here I see that they will be in this kind of corner, as if it's driving, or the pressure of it. And 5.6, so they're still getting them, and I hate to say it, it will be still here around this area. Yes, you'll get some significant 6s, 6.6 here, but you'll see the bigger ones around about in this section here as a kind of aftermath because of this. So you could be seeing upwards 6s to 7, low 7s in those areas, and off the ocean round about here too, some, not large ones, but some. And because of that, you will see little ones in even here and throughout Australia, which I will go to in a minute. Actually, let's just go there quickly. And this is Australia, and in the last 7 days. So let's quickly see if we can go. Older, I don't know if I can go backwards. Hey. All right, 6.7 on the January 2nd, I didn't know, happened on Vanuatu. I think this could have been it. Yeah, there it is. So it is happening, I'm afraid. But those are going to be just growing this whole area, Solomon Islands, not so much up north there as this stretch is really the horrors of it. It's just increasing in size, okay, as you can see here. And it doesn't. And Australia, obviously, you're seeing far more earthquakes kind of dotted around there, but you will be seeing larger ones too, 5.5s, but they're pretty deep. It's as if Australia is pretty solid rock, but it's still affecting you a lot. But I hate to say that's going to increase. There is some kind of tsunami being generated from an earthquake run from that area, but it's hitting the shores here. And there's low-level flooding here in Australia on that coastal area. So please be careful of that, okay? And I'm just seeing if there's anything else. I'm going to kind of pan out a bit here on this one. No, yeah. Okay, now just why I did this one is because I want to quickly go over some other little areas. It's not really showing it, but I like this map better. Let's see if this one shows. All right. Okay, as you can see, it's quite dense with everything, and that's with the last 30 days. So you see all of this all on that, all on the fault line. And Africa, as I said, will increase in its activity, which it has, which was unusual, but you will be seeing far more activity in those countries. But please know that even in these oceans, weird places, you're going to see kind of indiscriminate, in the Indian Ocean, other ones. There might be a good 5.6 to a 6.2 earthquake roundabout there, just not exactly near to Madagascar, but near there, okay? And basically, what I'm seeing also, and we're going to go to Canada next, but basically you're also getting it in the little indiscriminate ones here in the Arctic Ocean as well. I know fire zone. Can you see how active that thing is? And Antarctic, you're going to see little ones. I don't think they're even showing it, to be honest, but it's hard to find information on that one. But I do see it doesn't just end there, that there is a plate down there that is moving as well. Anyway, that's what I'm seeing. All right, now let's go back to Google here. And what I'd like to do is to quickly transition into certain countries and what I'm seeing quickly. And we're already at half an hour again. So let's quickly go in. I'm seeing, and I'm only going to pick on a few countries, okay? But basically there is a lot of unrest, I'm afraid. Iran, Iraq, it's as if those two are going head to head again. And Iraq is under huge internal pressure, put it that way, other than with Al-Qaeda, but other internal issues with the governments and the established regimes, things like that. So I really feel sometime in November this year there's going to be some kind of uprising, massive uprising, okay? The other states seem to be kind of stable, but I haven't got, unfortunately, time to put everything in. There's some kind of mini war going around here in Turkey. I don't know, it's like a local war. I did see in Jordan that there's going to be a bit of problems, unrest, civil unrest in Jordan. So I don't know what's going on, but I do see some problems in Jordan. So, but round about March it starts up. It's like they're having problems with, again, governmental, and there's conflicts and there's riots going on in Jordan. Okay, Egypt still hasn't really calmed down from its transition, and I feel that there'll be more or less a flare-up around about end of June to July. Greece, I hate to say it, and that whole area is still undergoing some really huge transitions with their government, so sorry about that. Flooding, just quickly. I'm seeing that, yes, the flooding is going to be quite, well, the weather, snow, is just, as I said, the extreme snow last year, and I'll say it again this year, it's going to be worse than last year. And the temperatures are going to go actually lower than anything that they've ever seen before, or the recorded history, at least maybe 14th century. But it's been really, really low. And it's really hitting Russia upwards. And it's hitting, obviously, it's like most of England, practically all of England will be hit. So it's mostly really Switzerland, up Italy. It's kind of in a weird block like this. Sorry, I'll use this. So it's like this, and it's, you know, pretty horrible. This whole, you know, Ankara, all of that is getting hit with a huge storm. And it really lasts through, winter lasts through until about April. You know, it kind of slacks off by May, which is like about mid-May, it starts slacking off on the winter grip. But you'll see that it's really, really nasty on the actual winter, storm after storm, and any kind of reprieve. It's kind of massive flooding in certain lakes, I hate to say it, you know, from, you know, mountainous areas, Stockholm. I mean, I'm seeing just in certain areas of Sweden, Finland, there are, I just see a lot of flooding, I hate to say it. In roundabout near Berlin, I don't know if there is something there, but I'm seeing flooding there. And it's as if not every single country, but there mostly a lot of countries in Europe have got to do with the melting, but also some severe tropical storms, like summer storms. The heat's going to be excessive, and from France, not France, but Spain, let's move on, downwards. Let me just reduce the size here. So basically it's the heat is going to be incredibly oppressive from even there's a certain period of where even England is so incredibly heavy with heat, unusual heat waves that's never seen, 98 even degrees in certain areas of England, not so much the northern, but in mostly down south, but still in the mid-states, but flooding here in these areas. And as I said, coastal flooding in certain areas here are going to, for some reason, there's like higher tides in this whole region. Okay, so watch it. But coming in from this end, that's why I'm seeing it in those areas. Let me know, kind of like king tides, but very near to that. But I'm seeing for the heat, the Spain's going through a huge heat wave, as with, it's coming in waves, like it comes in a huge drift and then hits everything. So it goes for about a good 6 weeks, constant heat, not relenting with any kind of storm activity or rain or relief of pressure. And it's quite suffocating, quite frankly, but it goes more or less through here to about there, Romania, just about the edge, and that is the most like a tropical heat there. Okay, and also below, you know, in Africa, I hate to say it, those heats, the drought, again, as I said, there's these huge sandstorms that are going to be kind of gravitating and moving more sand inward, and kind of really creating chaos because of the people who live there, you know, trying to make a living. So basically that's going to be a huge problem, where I'm seeing, as I said before last year, there's going to be far more wars, more than gold is water, trying to find natural waterways and trying to maintain it. So there's going to be quite a bit of ugly political, not even laws, but ugly political wars regarding just water, I'm afraid. A basic necessity, but that's something that's going to proliferate there. But the heat is going to be quite massive from this heat. The storm, it's as if the heat comes like this across, and it comes, it's like this in that corridor, and I'm seeing tornadoes even, the heat is creating with the dust storms. So it's like tornadoes coming in, and it's about this section in here. I don't know if there is such a thing. I don't know. I've never seen any tornadoes there before, but I am seeing, you know, a bit of ravaging there. Okay, so that's Africa. And okay, India. And let's go to quickly cyclones, and I'm kind of melting everything together because time's moving on here. Now for cyclones, I did unfortunately accurately predict those for cyclones that hit Bangladesh and came in here too, but and it's on those slides, but I am seeing one actually. I don't know if this is true. I don't know why it's traveling this way, but quite frankly, it's as if it's coming in, how can I say, from this section, and it just travels right through. Excuse me. And it really loops and hits here. Not Bangladesh is going to get affected, but it's really bringing a huge amount of low-level flooding. I hate to say it, on this whole section, a bit on Sri Lanka, but it's really this section here that's going to affect on India. And the storm is pretty, it's like a category 4 cyclone, nearing to 5, and it kind of hits here where the storm is just, it stays extra time in this area and devastates Malaysia and all of those countries there, and really it's like oppressive, and it just won't move, and it just destroys things. So please be warned, low leveling, and it just comes in like that and hits there. Then there's another one later on in the year where it comes in, loops around like this, and does kind of a semicircle, and it's as if this whole bay is just always constantly hit. So it loops round, and again in that same area, but not, instead of here, it's hitting lower here, and makes landfall and makes a mess. But quite frankly, when it makes landfall, it goes down. But that's Cat 3. But that is round here and more there. There are other storms that are coming in, but it won't be as bad. The cyclone, there is one mini cyclone that kind of comes in and forms, but it's as if it comes into Australia and hits there, and there's flooding here, and we'll go over quickly Australia. There is one storm again, quickly, that's coming in from out here for some reason, and it hits literally around here, and it hits through New Guinea on the tip and goes right through here. And hopefully I'm wrong with all of this, but I'm trying to look at the thing, and it's coming in there. Okay, so be careful of that, and it kind of loops round. And then there's one coming in lower, which comes in from, I don't know if it comes in like this or like that, but it comes in here, and it's a storm system that really affects the northern tip of Australia. And the flooding, I'm seeing that the flooding really starts occurring round about, I don't know if there's floods in February, but also in June, July there's floods. And you know, all across here, Canberra, I don't know where that is, I don't know why that came in, but anyway, it's in mostly in this section, and in this there are fires, but not as bad as last year and the year before, where I predicted, unfortunately, huge fires. But it's as if even the heat in Australia has just increased more than it's ever done before, and it's so suffocating. It's kind of a dry heat, but it's a suffocating heat, where they're seeing unprecedented temperature readings that they've never seen before. So please be careful, anybody outside, but because that is something that, and I'm seeing snow. I don't know if they get snow that high, but in Australia, but I'm seeing snow at higher levels. In other words, lower levels than they've ever had it before, but snow there too. Let me know if anybody's in Australia listening to me and watching this. New Zealand, here again, they're going to be seeing kind of weird weather. There is one kind of weird cyclone that kind of just swirls, I'm seeing, and hits kind of, I don't know if you can get cyclones there, but anyway, I'm seeing it round about that area, okay, on the tip of New Zealand. All I can say is just let me know, and I'll hopefully do my best to be a bit more, I don't know, accurate, but try and give you more information on it. economy, I feel that there's going to be, it's as if Australia is going through a lot of, again, lots of internal strife in the government. As with, I hate to say a lot of governments, the Philippines, Thailand, Korea, not so much Korea, but Thailand, Malaysia, they're all going through a lot of different internal rumblings with the government and clashes, riots, all of these that I've been seeing in the last few years, which I've been trying to talk to people about. But so it's as if people are getting more fractious and less tolerant of things, and they're speaking up. So just try and keep your temper and see the larger picture and think of yourself in that microcosm. Worry about yourself. And basically New Zealand, it's as if there's some kind of land agreement going on, or some kind of political situation with about land, that they're changing the laws. And that's coming in after February, so it could be May, I don't know. But there's a lot of huge anger with that because they're trying to change land laws there. I don't know if that's true, let me know. Fiji, I hate to say it, the Fijian Islands, I'm seeing a lot more problems in flooding, lower level. And I hate to say it, Tonga, and there's a big earthquake there somewhere too. But Fiji, I'm afraid, is going to get affected with all kinds of islands, flooding as well. Heat for most of the world, the heat indexes are going to go up. And again, everything in the book will be given there. Okay? I'm just thinking of anything else. And by the way, you're going to see really unusual dust storms, like in Arizona, in Nevada, in the deserts, but also Australia, in the as I mentioned, in Africa, and just weird weather. While we're talking about weather quickly, I'm going to pan out to the world in a way, and you will see these weird kind of, some here in this ocean here, where there's waves, like high waves, and it's mostly off the African tip, but it's really about in this area, this whole, sorry, this is my incense stick. I always like using it. So it's really these weird high rogue waves, like 40 foot to 80 feet, swallowing boats, but luckily some of them manage to get through it, some don't, smaller vessels. But I'm seeing about 80 to even up to 120 feet high rogue waves, so they're growing in size and waves. Also on the other side of this is, this ocean here, in this strip, sorry, use my incense stick, in this strip here again, it's as if there's weird currents happening from here right through, and these huge rogue waves, they're like tsunamis at sea, are literally affecting a lot of the fleets, things like that, in there. So basically, that's it for most of those countries. I'm going to go to quickly South America, and then Canada, and I'm going to call it quits. So basically, again, earthquakes. As I said, and it happened obviously, but I don't think this is really new news. You're going to see a lot more earthquakes around about here and in that section, and then in this section here, and mostly in the, and I'm seeing one major city really being hit by a 6.9 to a 7.3 earthquake. Lower down, I'm not going to say where, but it's round about here. But you're going to see far more earthquakes in these areas, even on the tip of South America. So don't be surprised. And it's moving inward, as if the activity is even being a bit more inward there. I hate to say it. So that's happening, whether we like it or not. You'll see more, let's say a hurricane, but I'm seeing really horrible storms coming in like this, in that section there. Let me know. Mexico, same thing. It's really, you know, earthquakes, the Baja, California Baja, that whole strait, you're going to see activity around about May, June, increasing 6.6s. So that will be not Mexico, just outside Mexico City, of 5.8 or something like that. Again, I hope I'm wrong. Okay. And basically, we're going to go up here to Canada quickly. And, oops, wrong way. Let's straighten out quickly. I know I'm trying to keep this under 2 hours, but I don't know if I can. It's probably going. Stop it. I talk to things. I talk to my car. All right, stop it. Okay, here we go. Canada. Seems I've been kind of accurate. I've got quite a few people who've thankfully and really sweetly email me with updates. But anyway, just quickly on Canada, and as I've put it, I know it must have annoyed a lot of people, but quite frankly, I decided to put it all in one video. If you don't like it, that's okay. You can go to another video. But basically, here we go, Canada. Yes, earthquakes. As I said, last year that earthquake happened here, and it had there were, and I put the verifications in there were subsequent, no, it wasn't really related to the earthquake, I don't think, but floods from soon after that happened, and that was in Toronto, which I've got some movies on news of that. But we're going to see a bit more, a few more earthquakes, and let's quickly go to Canada's earthquake. They are here. Okay, as you can see, Canada. And I said there are going to be far more earthquakes here, and I really feel they're going to really kind of move this way, and far more frequency in that area as well. So there'll be a kind of a 6.7 round about here, and I don't know, I guess near, I hate to say it, Ontario. And it's not in the city, it's outside the city. But I do see that it's moving inwards, as I said, like in Seattle, it's moving inside more. This will just keep on continuing. Those earthquakes will not stop. It's kind of activated it and made it very, not insecure, but shaky. I don't know what to say about that. But you will see, as I said, experience far more earthquakes in this sector and up here too, occasionally as well. You'll get some kind of rogue earthquakes, and I'm seeing them here too, in that area, Northern Territory. BC will be a bit more active, but in this kind of oblong, in that section here, and kind of off the coast here, that way, BC. Okay, these will continue, I'm afraid, and flooding, I hate to say it, is more to do with, you're going to go through, if you heard the American one, your storm systems are actually far more ferocious than the ones that we're seeing here in America. And the snow is just, the drifts are like 12 to 14 and sometimes 18 feet high snow. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's accumulated snow. Please let me know. But that's more on the northern territories. So let me know on that one. But basically, it's going to be a brutal winter. And it's going to be a late summer where you're not really seeing any real warm up until about, it starts warming in May, but really June, July, end of July is when you start really seeing kind of peak heat. And by August, late August, September, it's as if the summer just moved a month or two backwards. And October, you're seeing like what we call an Indian summer, but really, again, breaking some records on the heat. And I don't know if that's true or not. Again, let me know and post it. I don't know what YouTube's doing with their comment section. It's driving me nuts, but quite frankly, hopefully I'll get to see them. And if they're being posted. Basically, you will see kind of a tornado. I don't know if you have a tornado alley, but quite frankly, I'm seeing it in this midsection here. And I don't know if that's true, but you're going to see far more tornadoes, where I'm seeing at least 32 F1s or so, and F3s about 18, F4s maybe about 2. You're not seeing any F5s, but I am seeing far more activity, and it's mostly in the midsection here again. And I don't know if it's just the weather shifting. Well, in a way it is, obviously. But I'll try and bring, I don't know if it's what I wrote in the book about why the weather systems are changing so rapidly, but basically you'll see a lot of different weather and flooding because of it, and it's kind of not cyclones, but these weird tornadoes coming in. So basically on Canada, and I know I didn't mean to kind of cheat anybody, but economy, it seems I was kind of correct on the economy there, on the governments. By late July, August, it's really angry. A lot of the parliament there is very angry. Well, people are put right. It seems they're demanding big changes. I don't know what about, but well, roughly I don't. And really trying to change the governmental procedure, being less like the English, hopefully. So, and again, king tides coming in here, and like dead ocean spots here, if somebody could confirm that. And really, basically, I'm trying to just go over through. I know it seems that I've kind of gone over a bit too much. You're actually going to have, in Canada, incidences where there's far more, shootings, but it's far more violence. And Canada on a whole isn't as, not violent, but has so much crime wave as some of the countries outside your country. So I hate to say it. And, you know, weird dust storms too here in this area. That's basically it at the moment. I'm going to call it off because it's going over 2 hours now, and I'm sorry I didn't include more. I'll try and put it in the book. The book hopefully will be released by the end of hopefully March, but if you want to either be a subscriber, I will hopefully do some additional videos that you could see where I'll be a bit more detailed. Since this is the big one, I couldn't give everything in, and I wanted to put it all in one. And if you want to follow me, or you want to see the schedule of events, the book, I will do a press release, and whoever's on either YouTube or my personal email list, I'll send a press release. Thank you for your patience with going through all of this, and I hope I didn't garble too much or go on. And I wish you luck. There's going to be some good things, as I said, going on with a lot of people, where governments are working together, and it's about darn time, where there are individuals who try and make this a better world, but and it's only in pockets, but it's not about the religion or anything like that. It's about individuals who have a good heart and just want the world to get on, and for them to have a good life, and not have the chaos that we've been having and living in the last 10 to 15 years. Oh, more so. All right? Blessings to all of you, and hopefully leave your comments if you enjoyed this, or if it was just too long, I'm sorry. Go to, I'll try and index the timing. Okay? Anyway, blessings and love and light to you all. Bye-bye.
Those are kind of hot subjects, and it's not just a subject. People are worried about it, and that's why my videos are not exactly very viral, but they're a huge amount, because people are looking for solvable solutions. And the book is called the Epoch Succession, will be out, but it's also going to give you a ton of exercises, and I'm really going to maybe do it as an addendum if anybody wants it, a I'll give you the exercises. So I'm going to give you exercises to try and help yourself out, okay? 2014.
This is the book, and it's very much in synopsis here, but it's going to be far more than what I'm giving you here. I'll give you some time to read it. It's in 2 pages. This is if you wish to get a reading, and I would strongly advise that this is just a synopsis of what I require you to read or know about a reading, other than I'm being brutally frank. Please, if you really are thinking of getting a reading, make sure that you look at the testimonial for the CD. But the CD is very, very important. If you, I don't care if I do it or you do it, but people only hear basically what they want to hear. You can freeze this later and read it. Thank you. Hello everybody, thank you for your patience if you've lasted this long, but this was the additional video I promised. I was going to keep it at, because of the mega size of the whole YouTube, but I decided to add far more information. So hopefully you're interested in this. It's a bit more detailed. So what I forgot to tell you, and I just on quickly reviewing certain videos, I realized that I had said there was going to be a this is Puerto Rico. And I had said that there was going to be a large earthquake, but I didn't really, even though I told you where it was, it's what I'm seeing is off the coast here, south coast here. And I'm seeing at about 6.9, that large, but again, it is deep and it's off the coast here. So that was important for me to bring up immediately. I was obviously getting distracted because I was thinking of the next thing that I wanted to tell you, so I apologize. So that's on Puerto Rico. We're going back to the general one. And the other thing is, as you can see, South America, as I said, they're going to have far more earthquakes here. But I do see one off, well, 6.9 roundabout here, all right, and it'll be roundabout, not exactly Buenos Aires, but roundabout there, and quite a large one here off the coast, and that's a bit later. That could cause a tsunami, I'm afraid, back inland and also this way on these islands, Tonga and New Zealand. So be warned about that. And I'm going to go speed ahead here. That's only some of the things. Regarding, and we've done earthquakes quite comprehensively. I'd like to do more in detail in the book, but not at the moment in this video. What I'd like to go to is tornadoes. And I wanted to mention this, and I haven't even reviewed the full videos yet, but basically I do see far more tornadoes all over the world. And even in spots they've never really recorded it in the last 50 to quite a few hundred years even. So don't be surprised if these odd tornadoes are going to start springing up. I do feel though, obviously other than America, which we went into comprehensively, I don't really want to go into that, is South America is going to get hit. And South America, what I'm seeing is that it'll go into, let's see now, it's associated with a tropical storm or something, or some kind of hurricane. It's bad weather, all I know is, and it's associated again, and here's another one, is there's a lot of countries, not a huge amount, but quite a few countries that are going to get increased downfall. In other words, on the monsoons, and we'll talk about that a bit later here. But basically, you're going to, in this area, see maybe 2 or 3, and clusters, but small enough, but clusters. And even some tornadoes here that I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is an increase, far more incremental increase is really in Australia, surprisingly. And I really feel it's to do with the monsoons too, but I'm seeing tornadoes mostly in the middle portion, but upper middle portion like that, not lower, but upper here, in tornadoes. So be careful, they are going to increase, they're coming in clusters, and I'm afraid what I'm seeing is about 3 F3s and 1, maybe probably an F4. Well, definitely an F4 and an F3 that could be downgraded to could be considered an F4, but it's downgraded to an F3. You're going to get a lot of low-level ones that could be even classified as, what are they called? I'm sorry, I'm just, not waterspouts, the land one for waterspouts, which I still get blocks on. But anyway, you're going to see like dust storms too, raging. And one terrifically bad dust storm I'm seeing originating here in Australia, in that portion. So that's very important to note that unfortunately that's going to happen. Other areas I'm seeing tornadoes in are in China. And in China, it's about in here, which I know it's kind of weird to have tornadoes in China, but anyway, that's what I'm seeing it in the, say, south corner of China. So Korea is a possibility of maybe one, but 2 or 3 here I am seeing small ones, not really gigantic. Also in Japan, surprisingly as well. And this I see is on a smaller island in Japan. All right. Africa, I did see, we'll move over a bit here. Africa, I do see quite a few, it's ramping up of tornadoes, I hate to say it, and dust storms, but not horrifically bad dust storms, but definitely increase of dust storms, and dust, and obviously sandstorms, which I covered in the last one. So I am seeing in this kind of area, that's a kind of a huge tornado area for some reason, where it's got, I don't know, it's kind of a combination of certain winds, but in that form, within that corridor. Okay, right, quickly, Australia and Bangladesh, I'm seeing 2 or 3 here, India around here, even in Pakistan, not exactly Karachi, but inland more in Pakistan. So you're going to see other tornadoes also in Europe. Surprisingly, I do see some odd, weird tornadoes, and they're in, let's see now, I'm trying to think, oh, England, I hate to say it. They're going to see about, not a huge ferocious one, but I do see like an F1, up to an F1 also. It could be tip into F2, but mostly in northern England, not all the way here, but in middle England, middle area. And it's really associated with the weird winds they're having, and that's going to increase actually. It's going to die down for about 4 or 5 months and then come back up in that weird wind, high winds that they're getting. So it's really to do with that. It's as if the stream of not only the combination of the hot weather and the systems are changing their latitudes. So I don't know if it's to do with the polar reversal as well. I believe that could be part of it, and I'll put that in the book. But there's that, and there are certain other little countries, even some odd ones, weird ones that may not be classified as tornadoes in New Zealand. So obviously in New Zealand there, and a few more in, let's see, just quickly looking, did some quick notes, but in some weird, like even Croatia, even though it's so tiny, but Italy also, round about, not as far as Rome, but in the bottom, near the boot of Italy and Madrid, not Madrid, but Spain, some weird ones. So don't be surprised if you're seeing this weird activation of weather. All right, so that's as far as I want to really go on tornadoes. Typhoons. Now, I think typhoons or cyclones, I don't know what they're called really. I think they're called typhoons over here. But anyway, what I'm seeing, it's like 3 systems, and it's going to be kind of a late system that comes in, and it's like 3 systems have grouped together, and it's making up to be one horrific, horrible, really horrible cyclone, typhoon, I don't know what to call it really. So it's going to be about, I'm thinking about July that I'm seeing, but quite frankly that's going to be quite, could be later, I'm sorry. Just leave the date out there, but quite frankly I'm seeing 3 systems go through, and it literally, in a little box, it just moves from this way and into across, and it really is going to have huge effect like the other last one, but it really literally moves and builds and then slows but builds again and kind of slams into, and this is what I saw in the hurricane before, slams into that whole area, and that could be the one that I referred to before. Okay, now what I would like to also mention now is monsoons. This year that's coming in is going to be far more aggressive with its monsoon activity. It's usually what I thought associated with only the countries like, Indonesia, Sri Lanka, India, where there's heavy forests, and Philippines. But quite frankly, I'm seeing the monsoon activity even be deluging, and that's why I'm seeing floods in Australia as well. So floods, floods in here in Australia as well. So basically, you're going to see certain countries with, yes, the regular monsoons, but it's going to be extended, that I see, and also like ×2. It's going to be deluged with rain. So floods in Sri Lanka, in parts of India, Bangladesh, and certain islands in the Malaysian islands and the Philippines are really getting hit here. So don't be surprised if the monsoon activity really does start, it's expanding basically, and being far more active. So flooding is not only probable, but quite frankly, highly possible. I'm also seeing, let's see, I'm just trying to get everything in here. Okay, I'm going to go back to quickly tornadoes. I didn't really put that in, but I do see some roundabout in Poland too, Norway one, Sweden, between Sweden and Denmark. That area is going to have 3 to 5 tornadoes. So it's like, it could be considered squalls, it could be even a waterspout, but all I know is there's changing activity in that corridor as if it's coming from here. Okay, sorry, I'm dotting back and forth, but I'm trying to get as much in as I can, and I'm able to. So you're going to see extreme weather. England's going to really be kind of harder hit, even though they've got kind of high heat, but it'll only be for a small block of time. The rest of the time it's going to be really, I hate to say the one England that I remembered, horrible, you know, clouds and cold, and then really a short summer, and then kind of a Indian summer later, but it's kind of with a lot of clouds I'm seeing. Okay, there are going to be 2 volcanoes that are going to go active. One is more or less active, but it'll really put on a show and have concerns, and there's another one that really hasn't shown its face, and that will go up and form new islands, but also it's more to do with a disruption. It's as if certain, again, terraformer of the planet, which I talk about in the book. King waves, I did bring this up on the earlier video when I had actually predicted it. So I just want to let you know that I'm seeing far more whales, sorry, whales, hello, yeah, whales too, but far more king waves on the southeast coast, not southeast, southwest coast of London, England. I mean, near Wales and things like that, Ireland, and even some of the rather highways into France as well. Not all the way down, just maybe the tip of Spain, but that's it. But I am seeing far more high activity waves. There is going to be, regarding the sea, I hate to say it, that we're going to see alarmingly far more ice melts with the icebergs, that it's melting faster. So low-level islands and areas like in Florida and some other countries are going to kind of lose not kind of, but definitely lose land mass. So be careful of that, I'm sorry to say. Just quickly going over some other things. What I do see around about mid-year are riots in Berlin. I'm not sure what that's about, but I do feel that it's affecting, it's really from the young, and that they're not being listened to. They seem to be gearing up to be more radical in Germany. So it's something that they're not being listened, they're getting very frustrated. And I'm not talking about young as in 12-year-olds or something. I'm talking about young as in 22-year-olds up to about 26, 27-year-olds. So there's something going on there. There is going to be an earthquake, just, these are from my notes, in Italy, a 7.1 off the coast there. Sorry, not off the coast, just inside Italy. I don't want to get too crazy with this, but all right, let's see. Quickly, I'm trying to, because I'm sure you're quite sick of listening to my voice here. Italy, let's go to Italy. So what I'm seeing is the 7.1 is around about here. It's really, I think Rome is there, but it's lower down. So it's kind of getting hit with this weird funky weather. So there's that too. Other things that I'm seeing are, let's see now. In Papua New Guinea, which is very interesting. I was going to put this in the book, but I thought I will do it now. Oopsie. Let's see, we'll go to Papua New Guinea. Oops, all right. Guess I'm all kind of off kilter here. Let's go back. Okay, Papua in PNG. And I think that's it, is it? Good. I have to learn my geography here. Anyway, in Papua New Guinea, don't know if this is true, but it seems to be simmering for quite a few years, total of 7, but the last 3 it seems to be very active. I haven't gone online, I haven't had time. I've been researching other things, but you can let me know if this is true. But it seems that there have been internal strifes with the tribes. I don't know if they're still considered like tribes, and the government, with the old tradition versus the new upcoming youth, and wanting to move the country into a more global aspect in a way, and not be so still protective of their it's one of the few countries that are very, very protective about their environment and not having it abused. But it seems that they want, there's wins and losses in the whole argument here on both sides. But I do see that they will have come to an understanding, but it's going to really blow up before it comes to an actual settlement with that. What else have we got? And Tasmania, which is kind of interesting. Tasmania came up. And don't be surprised also if you see it, even an odd, weird tornado in Tasmania. Somewhere around here is Tasmania. So what I'm seeing in Tasmania, and there's a lot of activity, as I said, there's the tornado system. It's a very bad system that's hitting mostly that whole South Pacific, those islands there. So in Tasmania, where are we? Sorry, I'm trying to find my notes here. I moved. But I'm seeing that there are more water spouts between Australia and this whole region here. It seems like water spouts are sprouting up. So let me know if I'm right or wrong. So throughout the year, it's kind of weird weather. All right. What else can I tell you? Then going all the way into, hold on, going back out, and we're going to go down to, or up rather, to this area. No, it's not, sorry. Let's get back up. Thanks for your patience. Oh, come on. Well, okay, I'm going to just go this way. Here's Japan. Okay, this is the region I'm trying to talk to you about. And this is, might even go actually to, quickly, this area, the Bering Sea. I know I brought it up last time in the earthquakes, but I have to tell you that this area here is, whenever it comes up, as it has already, these islands here are going to be far more active with volcanoes. Higher volcanoes off here on this side and that side, but I believe I did talk to you about that. So expect higher not exactly up to 8, but about 7.6 is the highest, 7.2. What also in kind of offsetting that same area, I hate to say it, is, I don't know how you say it, Vanuatu, I think it's called. Hold on. Yeah, Vanuatu. This one, I hate to say this, but it is getting active, as you know, throughout the year you must have noticed it. But I'm seeing much larger earthquakes, and one here and one huge one round about there. Okay, so just be warned about that. And it could even cause a bit of a tsunami, that one. It's quite large, unfortunately. But those islands are really becoming far more active, obviously, and being unstable. And I think the only other thing I wanted to mention, obviously everything else will be in the book. Hopefully this was worth it. But I am seeing still more riots in the world, that people are getting to be less, well, they're working towards certain resolutions, but certain governments, and it's mostly, which is weird, it's mostly the governments in Europe that are really being, the youth, not even the youth, but people in general are getting more active and interactive. And it seems that's really affecting quite a bit of, it's like hostile and protests, even a few bombings, I'm afraid, just because obviously that is not a way to sort out differences, but they are using that. Australia seems to be going through some kind of political, not upheaval, but political confrontation with their government too. And it's about certain things that they seem to be not changing fast enough. So people are getting very, very irritated. And there are some other facts that, like in New Zealand, to be honest, here, I don't know if this is true, but this is what I was getting. And there seems to be some kind of either a study or something in New Zealand that has, what it's trying to do is, because they've noticed there are so many earthquakes in the last few years, they were trying to find out, other than obviously precaution plans for a really major one in a major city, but what to do. And it just includes all kind of probabilities for a major earthquake. But they are really worried about this because of the islands increase, and not only the islands, it's obviously a lot of the surrounding area is being deluged with a lot, part of that ring of fire, and which I hate to say will be getting far more active. In the previous video I said. But anyway, the studies, they're trying to push it more because the residents seem to be very interactive with the government, and they're as if they're dragging their feet in this huge, they're not giant confrontations, but there seems to be other front confrontations with the government. They're trying to get it stabilized. One of the studies is to stabilize the ground, which is quite innovative, but I don't know how, but that's what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's true or not, but they really haven't talked too much about it to the world. I believe it's more internal conversations. So I don't know if that's true, but that's what I'm seeing as well. You can let me know. All right, then that's it. I didn't want to take too much time since it's already gone over. Thank you, blessings. Hopefully you'll be interested in the book. It'll be out later. Call if you want. You could even subscribe to this YouTube channel, or you could email me and I can keep you updated with the press release when that's come out. All right, best of luck. Keep safe. will say, even though I see North China, quite frankly, it could be Russia on that border. Don't know how or why, but anyway, that's where I'm seeing it. Really North China or Russia. And that's it, my friends. I know it's just a quick review here. My website, it's 86 classes. I'll try and get them on, actually teach across the world, but not only locally. But that's quite a feat because I need to get the book finished, which I'm hoping to release by March. And anybody who's on my list, either on YouTube or on my private list on emails, will get notified of the book, which you're more than welcome to add your name. It's all confidential. I do not sell my list. I can't stand that. And that's it. Hopefully I'll get to meet you when I put out the Epoch Succession. Just a quick note on the Epoch Succession that I will be doing an accompanying DVD of all the exercises, but on video, and that won't be with the book. It'll be sold separately because it's going to be a DVD, and I'm not too sure how to do that with Kindle, but it'll be a hard copy as well as Kindle, by the way. All right, thank you again so much for being patient if you've managed to get through everything. But and let me know, YouTube has changed their comment section, so I'm not getting comments anymore for some reason. So if you don't see me responding to them, please go ahead and email me, and I'll gladly respond and try and post those too. Don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, thank you again. Blessings and good luck. There is some great news too in the coming up, that things are changing, but we just have to trust it. It's not our time, it's their time. All right, and check out the candle lesson if you really want a miracle in your life, and also the kick in the head exercise. And I'll probably add that on subsequent videos. They are already up there in my channel. Take care, blessings, keep safe. This is Darshini in Spirit signing off.